Chronicles, and here we are in Kenansville Cemetery. This is a little town in Central Florida. It's been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, right around the time of the Civil War, all the way over, it's been here. I've already got my ovilus up and going. Okay, and originally the Kenansville Cemetery was known as the Evergreen Cemetery. Okay, and a lot of the families that established their roots here, it's called Kenansville, or a little bit further up there was another settlement called Whittier. The founding families are buried here, and you know, here you can tell they've got a lot of newer burials, but we've also got some of the older ones, which is what I'm going to look at. And over there, if you look over there, that first missionary Baptist church, that originally was a wooded structure. Okay, and even though there's a road there originally, there was no road there, and the church sat there like basically on the corner of the cemetery, and it was replaced by the structure you see there now. But originally it was a wooden. So that church has been there for quite a while. Sometimes the families, Todd, T-O-D-D. Let's see if we run across the Todd. That's it. Hamburger. Oh, no, that. See, that one threw me for a loop. I'm like, okay. All right. Seashore. Just a little research on this. It's that you're talking about your grandma, your uncle, or your aunt, or, you know. Usually, let's see, this is Little Bass Jr. Okay, this is a child, born February 22nd of 1922, passed away June 26th of 1926. This is a 4-year-old. Okay, right now it's about 7:30 p.m. We're right on the cusp of sundown. This is like very, you know, this is a very, very nice, peaceful surround. Okay, you've even got some families that they decorate their graves. They've even got back their bench where, you know, somebody said, I'm going to spend time with his family member or wherever that passed away. Which, you know, that speaks volumes. Yeah. By the way, this is very peaceful. I mean, I think some people think of it, well, it's kind of morbid, but not really. You know, if you're coming here and dusk. Okay, you see what I mean? You know, there's a lot of people that say, well, that thing just spits out words like, you know, here I'm talking about the perfect sundown, and it throws the word dusk at me. Okay, folks, come on, what are the odds on that? Yes, I know it's dusk. And by the way, there's a theory among paranormal investigators who have been doing this for quite a while, that contrary to popular belief that everybody thinks about the midnight hour, the witching hour, the 3 a.m., believe it or not, there's a lot sometimes that goes on exactly at this time, at dusk. Okay, when the sun is setting and there's like a lull. Okay, a lot of things happen. Okay, and let me explain why. In these cemeteries, yes, of course, yeah, these are memorials. And, you know, the people that passed on, you know, they're on the other side. Basically, what's left here is mostly for the comfort of the living. But when you have discarnates, that for whatever reason, they're still kind of like attached to their burial places, or they're tethered here, which means they still kind of have their consciousness and their habits. Guess what? Dusk was the time that everybody stopped working, started coming home, whether you were working out in the fields, whether you were working in a factory, whatever you were doing. This was around the time that most humans started preparing to go indoors for the night. Okay, especially in areas like this where there wasn't, like, let's face it, even now, there's no street lighting out here, none. Okay, so can you imagine even years ago? This was around the time that you would either, you know, put your animals away, or your cattle, your kids, bring them in from the field if they were playing. Maybe people were getting ready to eat dinner. And believe it or not, a lot of these discarnates that are still here, that are still tethered to that human consciousness they had of their habits, especially something like that, they're still repeating it. So that's why at this time you do get some unusual activity at cemeteries, because, like it came out with that word, the dusk word, because of that. Because it's like miss. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they're calling me miss because that's a very southern thing. You know, my southern accent sucks. But anyway, even though I hear it a lot of people in southern culture call women miss something, miss like Miss Daisy or whatever. Miss. This is like it's not a. It's, you know, it's like a
being polite.
Being polite, yeah, being polite. You call somebody miss, so see. So anyway, I'm gonna keep on talking because, like I said, this usually works really well for me. Instead of sitting here and throwing questions out, I just start talking, and whoever wants to make their presence known just comes on in and throws in some words. And sometimes I can get to validate them, and other times I'm just like left out in left field going. So anyway, whoever said the miss, thank you. Again, back to my theory of dusk is a very opportune time for ghost hunters, especially in settings like this. Okay, all you've got is regular sounds. It's not, you know, luckily because this is not I really don't have any homes that help. Okay, now I'm getting something going on. Okay, somebody's here. That help thing. Okay, now, and let me explain what this help. This is crash course, crossing spirits over, paranormal. Not all paranormal investigators, by the way, will do this. Okay, I do this because I've done this for a very long time. Besides the paranormal work, because of my work in mental health, human behavior, as a hypnotherapist, very well versed in this. But one of the things you get is a lot of people don't realize that sometimes when souls get trapped on this plane, okay, that maybe initially they weren't ready for whatever reason, they were scared, maybe they were trying to console somebody in their family which was really distraught when they died. Well, guess what? They kind of lose their way. And sometimes, especially when, even though time is different for them, they even sometimes go a little bit into loss of memory. Like if you're just walking around a great place and you kind of start losing memory of who you were or what happened to you and everything, but there comes a moment of recognition where you're ready to pass on. And think of it as you are in a room that's dark, and you know there's a door somewhere in that dark room, okay? And what you do as a person that crosses them over is you switch the light on, or in other words, so not even inside the room, where they can see the outline of the door so that they can cross through, and they're ready. That's why sometimes you get a lot of these words like help. The help that they need is they're ready to go. They're ready to go. It's just that they just need somebody to turn the light on the other side so they can see the outline of the door and go through it. And like I said, sometimes the scarnets, depending on the circumstances of the, you know, how they died, especially if they were unwilling or they didn't accept their death, or they didn't realize when their deceased loved ones come for them to say, come on, go into the light with us, they kind of wig out. They're like, you're dead, I'm alive. They kind of miss that boat. You know that thing about free will? That still exists. So what happens is that when you hear that word help, a lot of times they're ready to go. And when you turn on that light, now when the family member comes and tells them, or the friend or whoever it is that's going to come for them, because it's always the most appropriate person, by the way, the one that's guess what, they're ready to go, they're going. They just need that little help, which is, believe it or not, that's what I'm putting in my head. Okay. And not only that, you're thinking, well, Marlene, you're standing in a cemetery. I've learned that even if you have this scarnet who is not tied to this particular location, in other words, they're not buried here, and they're doing this, they kind of already know ahead of time that you're going to open a doorway for them to have people come through and get them, and they will come. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Across the street, there's an orange grove, okay? And if somebody died in that orange grove and they dumped their body, this is an example, folks. I'm not saying that that's what happened. Nobody knows them, but they're ready to die. They could come over here knowing that I'm going to open a doorway for them to go through. Okay, that's why I'm saying, besides the obvious that I'm standing in a cemetery, and hold on, I've got my videographer's making hand signals over here. What's going on, Henry?
Somebody was touching me.
Really? Somebody was touching you?
Yeah. His name is Bo.
His name is what?
Bo.
Bo. Hold on. I'm going to become the videographer. Whoa. Hold that thought. Okay. What's up? What's up, Henry? What's going on?
Somebody was touching me. He was
Whoa. My camera is trying to run away from me. Hold on.
He was a good old boy, but he was in the military.
Really?
Beauregard.
Beauregard. That's a very southern name.
Yeah.
That's a very southern name.
He was asking me, what the hell were we doing here?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds typical. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? What did you do? Did you hear him in your head or did you hear him in your ear?
In my, he was like touching me, pushing me.
Pushing you in the back?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a minute. I got my ovilus. Sorry for my discombobulated camera, folks. It's wanted to run away from us. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what my ovilus just said. So see? I'm chit-chatting away and Bo is telling us, what are you guys doing? And it said the word Alice. Well, the name Alice. Okay. So, Alice. If it would have said the word Bo, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, just see me how fast I get in that car.
No, why not? That's what we're here for. Yeah, it's a little bit, freaks you out a little bit, but come on, let's pretty little landscaped area that they have on that plot. They actually
I got a feeling it didn't start that big.
No, but you know what? They were thinking long term. They made it very nice. They have a statue and they put some plants in there that go into a tree. That's very nice.
This place been here forever, so probably this little tree started as little tiny little twigs, and now.
Well, you know what? Maybe the family's still here, and they're planning to stay here, and they've kind of got this little family plot going on, which is very sweet, and I think that's very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So, okay, guys, we'll give it a couple more minutes and see what happens. Okay. So I don't know the rules about the cemetery per se. There's no gates, basically not letting you in, but I do know that some cities, they kind of have this rule, which by sundown you're supposed to be out of. German. That's the second time that thing, right? German comes up. Yeah. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. That is the second time.
You know that
I think that German thing. Okay. And no, when did we hear it? We heard that all the way when we were in the Fort Drum Cemetery.
Yeah.
We were earlier in the day. We were at a cemetery that's south from here. It's very similar to this one, small, an older cemetery, and we got the word German. Mm-hmm. German with a capital G.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were like, okay, and we knew that they
It could have been somebody who was in World War II.
Exactly, that's what we were thinking. Well,
because of Hitler, stuff like that, yeah.
Remember, folks, Germany was also in World War I.
Yeah. Okay,
but anyway, there was, I tried looking, it was like, wow. And I get that same word here, and it's like, one of two things. Either somebody who's here anticipated us coming here, or somebody's been traveling with us since Fort Drum.
Yeah, right?
So, believe it or not, that's not that uncommon. And
hitchhiker.
A hitchhiker, yeah. And the truth is that, without really knowing the circumstances of someone's death, even if they're a veteran, even if they didn't die in the war, folks, let me tell you something. That kind of like sometimes becomes part of your soul if you think of that. Let's say you did go to war and you fought against the Germans, and maybe you saw family members, even friends that you saw killed in front of you. That kind of like resonates with you. I hate to say it, but yeah. Where even after death, this is the one word you want to say, Germans, or I killed the Germans, or the Germans killed me, or who knows. The Germans were the enemy. A lot of things become fixated in a person's mind, especially if they had really traumatic events associated with either a certain person or a group of people. That's usually the way it is. So, okay, I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. If anybody wants to say something, now is the time. And I hope you're going to see, I'm going to put a little show together, which I'm going to go up and take another little look-see in Kenansville. There's a couple of other spots here. I'm going to keep on trucking down the road and go to another place before I lose the sun. Okay? If anything interesting happens, believe it, I'll turn it back on. See ya.